In today's aviation news recap, an airline is expanding its order book. WestJet has announced expansion once again, and a brand new airline is gearing up for a massive 2025. One up again there. Riyadh Air, they're an upcoming Saudi Arabia-based company slated for launch in 2025, and they're planning a large launch to say the least, with many exciting things lined up. The airline is part of a broader strategy unveiled by the kingdom to ensure it can increase tourism levels by the turn of the next decade. Obviously, it wants to initiate this process as soon as possible, hence why we're seeing Riyadh Air launch, and it's deemed the core solution to this. As part of their upcoming launch, it has secured a staggering 2,574 slots at Riyadh King Khalid International Airport, which is already helping cement it as an industry leader. The development comes following a new filing from the Airport Coordination Limited, or ACL, for the airline's home airport. The filing, interestingly, also matches 100% of what Riyadh Air had initially put forward as its request. While all slots will not obviously initially be filled as aircraft are delivered over time, this really does signal the intent on the airline's part to become a household name very quickly. They're not taking it slow by any means, and notably they hope to cover every area of the globe, and by acquiring over 2,000 slots, well, they'll be able to do so pretty much as soon as they're capable. That'll come down from a staffing point and also aircraft availability, which we know has been a pretty hot talking point in the last couple of years for an airline's perspective, inability to get planes. How that really will affect Riyadh Air remains to be seen, but executives have already come out and stated that they know they're going to be impacted. They'll find ways to mitigate all of this. For Riyadh Air, they hope to really carve their own niche by the usage of these slots. Therefore, they're not looking to compete with Emirates, Etihad, or Qatar, which are obviously nearby neighbours, and when you think of the Middle East, you think of these three as the big three. Furthermore, the airline's CEO, Tony Douglas, has pushed back on criticism that has surrounded the airline's rapid expansion before it has even launched. Looking ahead, we know the airline has commitments to many different aircraft across Airbus and Boeing, which is providing it with a very exciting but also very much next-generation fleet composition. The first was its trademark 787 purchase. This will be a fundamental part of its launch, and we already know that the airline is currently running test flights to get the required certification to begin eventual commercial passenger flying. These test flights, which are non-commercial ones, commenced on the 12th of September 2024. The first aircraft, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, jetted off as RXI 1501 from Riyadh to Jeddah. As for the carrier itself, Riyadh Air was unveiled some time ago and has since then cemented its position as one of the most talked about airlines, all the while having not operated a commercial flight. There's great anticipation for what it will offer customers. Executives have already confirmed that they want to have one of the greatest onboard products available to customers, with more details to be revealed in due course. As for Etihad Airways, close neighbours, they've confirmed that they will be exercising options and therefore growing their total order backlog for the upcoming A350 freighter. The Abu Dhabi-based company wants to acquire 3 additional planes, which will bring the total order, or should I say total firm commitments, to 10 units. Freightwaves did confirm such an update, with the publication speaking with the VP of Etihad Cargo. An additional commitment to the A350F being activated truly is a testament to recent solid results published across the cargo division, which I did recently take a look at here on the channel. They were fantastic, and they believe that is only expected to continue, and as such they want to have the available next generation aircraft for this. A deal backs also Etihad Airways' growth plans, which were unveiled and are titled as Journey 2030. If you're unfamiliar with this, in essence, it's basically a plan to see mass growth across the company. This isn't just limited to a passenger operation, but it can extend to areas of the business such as its freight division. Really, Etihad wants to grow. From employee base to its maintenance facilities to everything in between. While much emphasis will always continue to be placed on the passenger operation, the freight division is still equally important for the airline group, and they're committed to serving available demand, and to be able to do this, they feel that additional aircraft are to be required. And on top of this, there are greater opportunities to pounce following those fantastic results, with a lot of focus placed on Hong Kong and broader Asia from its home in the Middle East as a lucrative market for future flying. That expansion I speak of will see the Etihad cargo fleet more than double in the upcoming years, to grow the current fleet to 15 aircraft by the end of the decade. As for the A350F, well, it's become a fundamental pillar of the next generation for freight operators such as Etihad, which have looked to really leverage this next generation efficiency that will be offered to them to their advantage for long-term flying. While the A350F has yet to be certified or even wholly built, there is already a pretty hefty backing, and many companies are also interested in adding it to their future plans. A lot of that interest for this aircraft comes from it being considered as a first of a new era for freight flying. This new era has a greater emphasis on efficiency. The rival to the A350F is Boeing's upcoming 777-8F, based on the 777X passenger series. The two aforementioned variants are expected to compete against each other for years to come, attempting to take market share away from each other with each respective order to be placed. Arguably as well, analysts believe a lot more rides on the fate of the A350F, and its success is being broadly considered the manufacturer's real push into the freight scene. Over to WestJet, they're not slowing down with their expansion efforts, announcing in the summer of 2025 they will be growing their transatlantic flying. Also, this will be aided thanks to an enhanced relationship with Air France, who through Paris will be able to offer onward connectivity to up to 52 European cities. Away from St. John, the carrier has announced that it will enhance Halifax services, making this an important city for transatlantic travel. While the focus will be placed on transatlantic offering, as I will get into, equally to facilitate the eastern part of Canada's connectivity, WestJet knows it must enhance domestic services from the western part of the country, essentially coast to coast, but also further inland. To make up the 2025 summer schedule, the airline will offer 4 weekly flights between Halifax and Paris, operating from the 16th of May through to the 25th of October. Meanwhile, Halifax to Edinburgh will also be offered, with 3 weekly flights from the 15th of May to the 14th of October. And then WestJet is also committed to Dublin, with 4 weekly flights from the 20th of May through to the 13th of October. Lastly, on the airline's list is Halifax to London flights. This commences a little bit earlier, actually at the end of April, and will run thrice weekly through to the end of October, this again for 2025. As a result, all of these routes will be operated on a seasonal basis, but as you would expect, they are absolutely catering to the significant levels of demand that are expected and to enhance WestJet's network during the busiest time of the year. That'll conclude today's aviation news recap. If you have any thoughts, please do not hesitate to drop them down below in the comments. Please take care, be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow for your next industry recap.
And we'll fly.